Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about another Jurassic World rebirth rumor, and it's of a species that has been, well, floating around with a design, and yeah, generally we're just going to be talking about that. And pretty much, there's been some rumors that there's going to be a large new sauropod, more specifically some species of Titanosaur, in Jurassic World Rebirth. And it makes sense since there's usually a new there's at least usually a sauropod in each film, and it wouldn't be surprising if they're getting a new one, especially since it'd be hard to transport sauropods, and, well, assuming most of the dinosaurs have died off more recently, like Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, and Dreadnoughtus, it would make sense for there to be a new sauropod. Another thing, the reason why people are saying a Titanosaurus, since Titanosaurs are the largest group of sauropods and some of the, if not the largest dinosaurs. And since we're collecting the largest land animal, marine animal, and flying animal, it makes sense that they're going towards capturing some sort of Titanosaur. So, but there has been a rumor of one specific Titanosaur being introduced into the franchise, with a design we'll talk about in a second. And yeah, this Titanosaur, more specifically, is Titanosaurus. And there's been this kind of white image of it, but anyways, there's this more full body kind of concept of what the animal actually kind of looks like, at least from apparently some descriptions of it. Again, I do want to mention that these are rumors, and there's nothing really concrete. Unlike the Aqualops, which actually has quite a bit of evidence that it's actually going to appear in the film from pretty official things, the Titanosaurus, from at least from what I can tell, there's nothing too official saying that it's actually a Titanosaurus. There's some issues with that, but we'll get into that in a second. First, you can obviously see that it has some sails on its back, and a general kind of just a plain sauropod build, which again we'll talk about in a second. And apparently the DNA of this Titanosaurus is made out of Amargasaurus, Camarasaurus, and Alamosaurus. No Titanosaurus DNA, and it only has one Titanosaur in its genetic makeup, which is kind of baffling in my opinion, but anyways. It's apparently also around the same size as the Dreadnoughtus from Dominion, which you may say, why didn't they just reuse the Dreadnoughtus? I don't know. Anyways. There's one pretty big issue with it being Titanosaurus specifically. Titanosaurus is a dubious genus. It's not a real dinosaur. And just going over here, here are some species that had fossils, well, Titanosaur fossils that we originally thought were different species of Titanosaurus, were later found to actually belong to all of these different genuses. And actually, most of these are either dwarf sauropods, not too large sauropods. I think the largest is Isosaurus, and Isosaurus is a pretty big animal, but for a sauropod, it's not super crazy in size. So I don't think Titanosaurus is really that wise of a decision. Now, talking about the actual design, it kind of looks bad. I know a lot of people are saying people are complaining about giving it speculative displays, but I think that they definitely could have done better, besides just slapping some sails on the base of its neck and over its hips, and generally it just doesn't look like a Titanosaur. Looks like a generic sauropod, definitely not a Titanosaur, along with the face kind of being weird, which I guess could be from the Camarasaurus DNA, which again, they probably should have put a little bit more Titanosaur DNA into this thing. And generally, this is one group of animals which is known to have had armor on its back, osteoderms. And they put osteoderms on pretty much everything, but when it comes to Titanosaurus, they decide not to. Which, again, I do want to mention that this is rumored, and of course, concepts of creatures can change a lot. Like, for example, the Giganotosaurus looks almost nothing like how it looks in the actual film with its original concept. And also, in some concepts, it originally had a horn on its nose, yet the one that we actually got didn't have that. So, of course, a lot of things could change, especially if this is an actual design, but again, this is really only rumored and there's not much evidence backing it up, so we really don't know. But we're just, as of now, I'm going to talk about it in this video as if this has been confirmed as the concept for the animal, at least. Generally, these sails are ridiculous, and I guess that's from the Amargasaurus DNA, but why not just have Amargasaurus play a smaller role and be a smaller sauropod, and then have the Titanosaurus be very different? And again, this genetic makeup I have an issue with. Why is there only one Titanosaur inside of the genetic makeup? Why not, use Dreadnoughtus and maybe Argentinosaurus as well, which I don't know why they didn't just go with Argentinosaurus, since it's pretty, even though technically every once in a while there's a new sauropod, or that is usually found to say, and stated to be the largest dinosaur that ever lived. Usually the estimates change, while on the other hand, Argentinosaurus has stayed at the relative top of the largest dinosaur, and usually it's a pretty safe option to pick. If you pick Argentinosaurus, it's pretty safe to say that it's going to stay the largest dinosaur. Of course, there's other containers, but they're fragmentary, and most of their remains are just, generally, it's kind of complicated. But Argentinosaurus would have been a good safe option to went with, besides Titanosaurus. Also, I have a question. Why didn't they just do something similar to the Alamosaurus in Jurassic World Alive, or just what Titanosaurus would have actually had, and give it more spikes and osteoderms, and actually made it look like a Titanosaur? Honestly, the Jurassic World Alive Alamosaurus actually is a pretty good design that they could have based it off of. Also, why didn't they give it more displays again, like Ankylosaurus, for example, another type of smaller Titanosaur, but it would have had a lot of osteoderms and spiky armor, or even something similar to the Dinodex Dreadnoughtus if they wanted to do fins, maybe give it more of a dewlap kind of thing on the underside of its neck. Generally, that's why I made this design, which honestly I think they should probably use, I don't know, Argentinosaurus or Alamosaurus if they wanted to go with a sauropod, since Alamosaurus I think is a pretty good option since it's not super popular, so it could give a chance for a already somewhat known sauropod, but not super popular sauropod, to get more appearances. Since Dreadnoughtus was a known sauropod, but not super popular until after Jurassic World Dominion, where it became very popular in several different types of media. So why not give Alamosaurus more of that chance, especially since it's pretty unique for being the last sauropod of North America, at least that we know of. And I gave this design a little bit more spiky than you usually see. Usually you see more osteoderms, but I decided to add more spikes, just, again, give it something kind of a little bit more unique of a design. And the genetic makeup of this one would be 8% Ankylosaurus DNA, 7% Spiny Iguana DNA, 5% Dreadnoughtus DNA, and 80% genuine Alamosaurus DNA. And the reason why I did this is, again, I did the Spiny Iguana and the Ankylosaurus to give it more osteoderms than the real-life animal may have had. And then I also gave Dreadnoughtus the DNA to make it a bit larger, since Dreadnoughtus is quite a bit larger than Alamosaurus. But they're still similar in size. They're still massive sauropods, but at least Dreadnoughtus would make it a little bit bigger, especially in this franchise. And yeah, that's generally what I think they should have done, something more similar to this and have it be more of a genuine animal than whatever they did with that fake Titanosaurus. But yeah. Anyways, that's what I'm talking about. What is your guys' opinion on this rumor? What is your guys' opinion of the design that's been going around? What's your opinion on my design of the animal? What do you think should be changed about it? Do you think they should have picked a different sauropod? Just generally, what are your thoughts? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!